Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Libra energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. What's going on in their life and how they're harnessing these energies will be different because they harness their Libra energy differently. Some people harness high vibe Libra energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Libra energy, some people harness a more shadowy Libra energy. Shadowy people are people who try to present themselves as like harnessing high vibe Libra energy, that they're just and fair and are these emotionally mature, stable, grounded people who treat other people the way they like to be treated, motivated and inspired by love. But that could all be a lie. It's just the way they present themselves in order to get people to get in a relationship with them. But they're really just out for themselves, how it benefits them. And more worldly people could just think it's more just and fair to focus on their career right now. Not as motivated by love at this time, but some people are always more motivated by the world. And they think it's just and fair. It's more about indulging in things that they think will make them happy. Or other things are more important to them than love. And then some people do harness high vibe Libra energy. They maintain balance within themselves so they don't tip into their more worldly, shadowy, more about themselves and ego and image and lust and greed than some other people. They've learned lessons in life and they know how to maintain balance in their life within themselves. Love is what drives and motivates them. And they do work to treat other people the way they like to be treated. So we all tap into Libra energy, what we think is just and fair. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story. Listen to your intuition about where some other people are at in your life and what they think is just and fair. Because if we want our dreams to come into reality and you're motivated by justice and fairness and love, you need to be in relationships with other people who that is how they harness their Libra energy. And the truth sets us free. We just need to see the truth and quit staying in denial or in our ego about people who haven't learned some of the same lessons we've learned, or they're just don't want to do love or not open to love or more about themselves. It's just see the truth of it so that you can go find the people in the world who are more on the same page as you and let them go find the people in the world who are more on the same page as them. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, also going to see what the Intuit deck wants to contribute to the story. So let's get those out. Okay, we have a card not showing itself, and the reason it came out is because to truly honor the source of your being, live from the flow of your heart. People should be authentic and truthful about what drives and motivates them instead of trying to confuse people about the truth of who they are. And the reason this card came out is because this card isn't showing itself. By walking your life's journey, you are dismantling false belief systems. What some people don't know about the high vibe people is that they are, when we learn lessons in life, we let go of a more immature way of viewing life. And what some people don't know about people is some high vibe people have let go of those false beliefs. And they are honoring like truth and love and justice and fairness. And other people are trying to present themselves as being that type of person, but they're hiding the fact that they reject that they do have these false belief systems. People can be more about themselves, but they don't want people to know that. And so they try to present themselves as being something they're not. The overarching reason for the reading is the Nine of Wands and the Hangman. In shadow, people are defensive because they do operate more from their ego. Other people, and so the concluding card after this is how people are going to move forward. The people that defend their more egoic view of life, like I am unwilling to look at life from any other perspective. I defend viewing life the way I view it, and If it's more about ego and image and money and materialism or themselves, that's probably how they're going to keep moving forward, because we have free will to align with our more worldly, immature, egoic view of life, or our more hopeful, believing, loving, justice and fairness and growing and maturing ourselves way of life. And some people are like, no, I am not going to harness high vibe Leo energy. I am not going to take inspired action to get out of my more egoic view of life to be a more like authentically myself in the world, where I let my more hopeful, believing, creative, inspired nature out to play in the world. And they could kind of feel stuck because they do get in relationships with other people who are loving and nurturing and warm and authentic and inspired. And then those people end up leaving their life because the other people see the truth. Leo energy is also about becoming illuminated to the truth. Other people get in relationships with them, and over time, they start to realize that the more worldly, shadowy people are kind of defensive of moving forward in life differently. They're defensive of looking at life from any other perspective. So they stay in like stuck, stagnant energy, repeating an old pattern over and over and over. Like, I'm defensive, I'm egotistical, I'm more about these things of the world, I'm manipulative, I'm kind of bossy and controlling. And other people end up seeing the truth of it, and other people move on. But they still refuse to see the truth. The truth sets us free. We're willing to see the truth of where we need to grow, mature, and heal ourselves, or we're not. And some people are not, and they're going to keep moving forward the way they've been moving forward. I refuse to look at life any differently. And for some, it's just, I'm defensive to love. I get hurt. I don't want to do love. I'd rather operate more from my egoic defensive nature, get in relationships, but I don't want to let go of my more defensive nature. Well, other people work through their defensive nature, and they figured out why they were defensive, and they realized that not everybody's the same. Why am I defensive? Maybe I dealt with some people who were hurtful and unkind, or bossy, or controlling, or manipulative, or whatever, but I realized not everybody's like that. And I don't make a blanket statement on everyone. I find the people who are enlightened to the truth, and those are the people I'm going to defend and that I'm going to move forward with. And the people who are more stubborn and prideful or immature or whatever, I'm going to have good boundaries to those people, because I don't want to get stuck in a relationship with someone who's like that, because I've already been in relationships with people who are like that. But if you're not willing to deal with the truth, to figure out what is the difference between people, so I don't reject everyone. Some people keep rejecting everyone, or being more authentic and loving in a relationship, and then people don't want to stay in a relationship with them. So, what's going on in Libra energy? We start out with a card not showing itself, and the reason it came out is because of the Judgment card. So, something that could be going on in Libra energy, maybe for all of us, maybe significantly affecting Libra sun signs or people with a lot of Libra placements in their chart, could have to do with this card. Some people harness this energy in a high vibe way, and other people don't know it. Some people harness this energy in a more shadowy, worldly way, and other people don't know it. And other people do. And they call judgment on themselves and on other people. What is it? The Eight of Wands. So, the Eight of Wands, again, some people do reject, with that card not showing itself, I reject moving forward, looking at life as an adventure to be lived and to be learned. It's about high vibe. Eight of Wands is about higher learning and education. No, I refuse to see the truth of that. I did meet people that acted certain ways that made me defensive to love, and I refuse to wrap my brain around it. I'm just calling judgment on everyone. I'm not going to do love. Other people are hiding. Shadowy Eight of Wands is that they're an immature player and they don't want people to know it. And they've decided, I like to indulge my more immature, egoic, defensive about myself or more about these things of the world. That's what motivates and inspires me, but I don't want people to know it. Other people became enlightened to the truth, and other people called judgment on me and they moved away from me. So now I'm going to go try to find someone else who doesn't know the truth about me. And I'm going to hide that I'm kind of a more immature person. I try to present myself as a more emotionally mature, stable, grounded person than I really am. You know, we can all present ourselves as being like this emotionally mature, stable person, but we really haven't learned the lessons to authentically be that type of person. It's just like a false mask that we're wearing. Trying to pretend, it's like applying for a job. Oh yeah, I know how to do that. Oh yeah, I have lots of years of experience in that. And then they get in the job and then people find out you do not have the qualifications you said you had. You did not learn these things along the way of life. And eventually people, tell them they can go on their way. you know? And it's the same thing that can happen in relationships. So then we have the Chariot and the Ten of Wands, and the reason it came out is because of the Four of Wands. Shadowy Four of Wands can be people who are just more about themselves, and they're all about them looking victorious, and they want to move forward in life, and they maybe want to get a new job and a new relationship, maybe because they feel overwhelmed. Shadowy energy is like, I'm tipped out of balance and I have these fears, I have these insecurities, I'm lustful, I'm greedy, I'm whatever, and I want these things. I want to look like I'm victorious. And some of those people are putting a lot of work and effort right now trying to get someone to maybe get in a relationship with them or a marriage, or to stay in a relationship or a marriage with them, or in the workplace, even though they could be immature and bossy and controlling, and they harness those energies in a shadowy way. Other people actually did get in the driver's seat of their life in the Chariot. I realize I have this dualistic nature. I do have my more immature, worldly, selfish, I want what I want now nature. But I also have learned these lessons in life, my high vibe nature. I have to temper my more immature, worldly nature, and I'm going to take the reins of my life. I am inspired to be firing on all four cylinders, take into account that all of these aspects of myself, my heart, my mind, my 3D world, my creative, passionate nature, they're all important. And it's not just about me. If I want to move forward victoriously with other people, come together with them in joy and celebration, I have to maintain balance within myself and operate from a foundation of love, not all about me and my wants and my needs and my lust and my greed and my pride and my ego. They're moving forward inspired by truth and love, and the other people are motivated and inspired by something else. And then we have the Seven of Wands. And the reason that came out is because of the Strength card. 2 cards of Leo energy. The Seven of Wands can be, I want to move. The Seven of Wands comes after the Six of Wands. And this is the Six of Wands. I want to move forward. The Chariot's about, I want to move forward in something that looks victorious and successful in the world that I can stand up and defend. Look how victorious and successful I am. For some people, that's what drives and motivates them. I want to look like I have moved forward, that I am victorious and successful, and they're operating from shadowy Leo energy. It's good for my ego. It's good for my image. I'm in competitive energy. Again, I want to look like judgment has went in my favor. I want people to view me as this victorious, successful person, And other people have tempered their more worldly, beastly nature. They're not operating from their more egoic, defensive nature. They have gotten out of their more worldly, egoic nature. And they're moving forward in this more emotionally balanced, loving way, inspired by truth and love. The people that are in their life that are also on the same page as them, who treat them the way they like to be treated, and people are just and fair and operating from love and inspired by love, and everybody's tempering their more immature nature. Those are the people they're standing up and defending. And that's how they're moving forward. Other people, we're either moving forward in truth and love, in a healthy, balanced, just and fair way with people, or one person can be, but the other person could be operating more from their egoic nature. And some people are in some mismatched relationships right now and they don't know it, but they might eventually. Some people right now might be starting to see, wait a minute, when we decided to move forward in this relationship, I thought we were both going to temper our ego, and I thought we were both inspired to move forward in like truth and love and justice and fairness. And some people right now could be like, wait a minute. I thought we were all motivated by this, but I'm kind of beginning to think that I could feel like you're kind of indulging yourself in this relationship. Why are you in it? Is it more because of pride and ego is good for your ego and your image? You were overwhelmed. You just wanted to be in a relationship. You wanted to look like a winner. You wanted to look like a victor, being in a relationship with me. Look like you moved on. Look like you were a more emotionally balanced, stable person than you are. Wait a minute. Why are we in this? How do you harness your Leo energy? How do I harness my Leo energy? Why do you want to keep moving forward in this relationship? Is it more for the ego and the image, or for you to, are you in it for love or are you not? And some people right now could be realizing, hey, there might be some people in my life that I thought we were on the same page, but now I'm starting to think that, again, someone can be more indulging themselves in the relationship than in it for love. And so some people could be like, wait a minute, hold up here. Then we have two cards not showing themselves. We have the Justice card and the Queen of Wands. And the reason they came out is because of the Nine of Wands and the Hangman. If some people do realize right now that, wait a minute, I don't know that I want to keep moving forward with some of the people in my life or a particular person in my life, because I do think they're more about ego or image or money or materialism. Those people are standing up for themselves, and it's kind of like, until you enlighten me to the truth, if I haven't figured out the truth already, because in Hangman, in High Vibe, the Hangman is about being enlightened to the truth. Are we going to move forward in our Libra and Leo energy in a just and fair way where we let love and intuition guide us, and that's why we're moving forward in this? Or do you think it's kind of just and fair to keep being defensive, maybe kind of prideful and egotistical and maybe manipulative, or where it's kind of more about you than, and they could think that's just and fair? Well, I think it's just and fair for it to be more about me. I'm kind of in my ego. Whatever I think I bring to the table, I think for some reason I kind of should be kind of indulged in a relationship. Well, the other person might be like, yeah, no. If you think it's supposed to be more about you being indulged in your ego, or you think it's just and fair to try to manipulate people and control people or something, I don't want to keep moving forward with you. So it has something to do with these two cards, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the Five of Cups in reverse. High Vibe people don't want to move forward with people who haven't learned lessons in life, because the Knight of Pentacles in High Vibe is about doing that inner work to be self-aware why you do what you do. And they want people who have done that work and they've resolved themselves about things from the past. Are you still, is the reason you want to move forward in this relationship is because you're still in your ego about someone else who left? Are you in a relationship with me just to try to manipulate someone else? Are you in a relationship with me because you're trying to prove a point to someone else who moved on from you? I don't want to be a pawn in your game to try to prove a point to someone. Have you reconciled yourself with these relationships of the past and your past pain and heartbreak and your fears and your insecurities and your self-limiting beliefs to the same degree that I have, that we're in that hopeful, believing nature and we are willing to defend this relationship and move forward in it because we've been enlightened to the truth that this is a loving relationship? Are we on the same page or are we not? And if they feel that some of the people in their life lack self-awareness, still have these issues from the past that they haven't worked through, and so, it's like people who can had some lessons learned in a last relationship or like at a last job, but instead of kind of learning the lessons they were meant to learn from that past relationship or that past job, they rejected doing that. They did not do the higher learning and education to call judgment on it or call judgment on themselves and to get in the driver's seat of their life, to get out of their ego about it, realize where they needed to heal and grow and mature, realize maybe why a relationship in the past didn't work out. If they had something to do with why that relationship didn't work out, have they been enlightened to the truth of it? Or are they still bringing that baggage and traits and characteristics, kind of a more immature way of being, maybe prideful way of being, maybe defensive way of being, maybe manipulative way of being, maybe a more worldly, materialistically driven way of being, just to the next relationship? And they didn't realize that those ways of being are a problem. Have they not made peace with some other relationship in their past? Are they still hung up on a relationship from their past that they need to work through to come to a place of balance about it, to see the truth of it? And some people right now, with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, some people are saying, I'm not going to keep moving forward with you. If you're not reconciled and have come to peace about some of these issues in your past so that you're not carrying it with you, that it still bothers you or manipulates you in some way, let go of some of your past pain and heartbreak or your fears or your insecurities, my dream can't come into reality with you. If I've reconciled myself with some of those things in my life where I am ready to move forward in something new in a just and fair manner because I have wrapped my brain around those things. I did offer love to myself and I did put in this work and effort to get out of my ego about it, to free myself from it. I am ready to move forward, letting love and intuition guide me. If you're not ready to move forward in that way, then I don't want to move forward with you, because if those things are still manipulating you, then basically I have to let those things manipulate me in the relationship. It's like a third party in the relationship. For some other people, they like to get in a relationship, kind of like to indulge themselves in a relationship, but then they're defensive to really kind of bring a victory into like going to the next level in some way, maybe being more emotionally authentic. No, I like to be in it. It makes me look like I'm moving forward. It may help me feel more stable and grounded within myself, makes me look victorious and successful, but I'm defensive to actually being more authentic. High vibe Leo is getting out of your ego to be authentic and loving and warm and giving, or even just to, maybe if it's people want to get justice in the situation, like we've been in a relationship, like I want that job promotion that you promised me, or I want to maybe get married, and if the other person's like, oh, well, no, I might not have told you that when we got in the relationship, it was kind of implied, you know, generally people want to be, well, maybe 50% of the people in the world want to be in a more formal, committed relationship. I'm not just hanging out here, just indulging in a relationship with you. I'm thinking this is going to go somewhere, that we are going to keep moving forward. The relationship's going to keep growing and maturing over time. And some people were like, no, I really wasn't planning to go like the distance with you. I just, something else didn't work out. And I just maybe felt overwhelmed. I wanted to look like I got in a new relationship. I wanted to look like I moved on, but I'm really not ready to move on. Well, that's when some people are like, I don't want to keep moving forward with you in this relationship if that's the truth. If you're still stuck on something from your past, someone from your past, you can go deal with those things, but I'm not going to keep moving forward because I want the justice I deserve, which is to be in a relationship with someone who's let go of those things. And some people have, and some of those people are moving forward and they're protecting the relationship they're in. We all can have things that tempt us in the world, and there can always be other people in the world who things didn't keep moving forward the way they wanted. And, the judgment card is kind of like the end of a trial. Things aren't moving forward. And then there can be other people in the world that meet other people in the world. Maybe they don't know if they're in a relationship or not. And those people are looking for someone to be in a relationship with. And the wands and all that can be about communication. And they could communicate to someone who they think is on the same page as them. You seem to be someone who doesn't operate from your ego. You seem to be someone who's more willing to be more authentic and loving. And, that's the kind of person I'm looking for. If that person is already in a relationship, that person could defend the relationship they're in. I'm not going in my more immature, prideful, egotistical nature, invest in something that would just cause regret because I'm already in a just and fair and emotionally stable or inspiring or loving relationship, and I'm going to keep defending that. Even the shadowy people, if they've found someone new to get in a relationship with and that person could seem defensive and stuck and willing to move forward with them in a relationship or views life the same way they do, and we're making our life about these things we indulge in the world or about ego or an image, and they found someone else to move forward with them, if someone else, whether it's a high vibe person or another more worldly focused person, would want to be in a relationship with them, some of those people will say, nope, I already got someone who I think I can emotionally manipulate or someone who I think is on the same page as me, and I'm going to keep moving forward with those people. For those of you who could have gotten out of some type of relationship, maybe kind of found out, that it was a little mismatched in some way, regardless of what they were driven and motivated by, but what you were driven and well, assuming high vibe people, you're driven and motivated by love. If when that did end, you were moving forward and standing up for yourself and what you believe in, you did this work within yourself to work through your pain and your heartbreak or disappointment and confusion about the whole situation to get balance within yourself. And then as you're looking to the future to move forward, you could have kind of paused and stopped from the 1 to the 9. It was like you were moving forward because the 8 of Wands is about moving forward, and you were moving forward. And then it's like, wait a minute. Sometimes we realize, kind of like a light bulb moment, that maybe there's been people in my life or people I know who I do think really are on the same page as me. But when I was drawn and attracted to certain people and I had my own lessons learned, I could have not even dated those people, become friends with those people, considered working at that job, or I did get in some type of relationship with them, but then I left it because of whatever, I had to learn some lesson here in life. And now that I have learned that lesson, it's like, wait a minute, who are the people in my life who I do think might be on the same page as me? And then you could have decided to communicate with those people. And if some of those people, once you communicated your truth to them about how you wanted to move forward, they initially could have communicated with you, but then if they're no longer like taking that action to work with you to bring this dream into reality and move forward with you, then you have to call judgment on them. I don't know if you're in your own loving relationship or you're more shadowy than I kind of realize, but I can't keep waiting for someone else to decide if they want to move forward with me in this way. I might have waited for a while because here you were really moving forward, and then it's like, wait a minute. And I think high vibe people temper their ego. I don't mind admitting to other people that, I could have made a mistake or I did make a mistake. I had lessons learned too. And I think we're drawn and attracted to certain people because we have lessons learned from them. And to help us get more clear about our truth and what our truth is now is different than what our truth was then. And so then we could communicate with people who we do think are more on the same page as us. It might be causing some of the people you could have communicated with to kind of stop their forward movement. And it's like, wait a minute, I got to think about this. Should I keep moving forward in my life the way I'm moving forward in life? Or why am I moving forward in life the way I am? What about the people I'm hanging out with? Why are they in a relationship with me? And it kind of makes people question, why am I moving forward the way I'm moving forward? Am I tipped out of balance? Am I doing things more out of ego and image or defensiveness? What about the people I'm in relationship with? Is there equal give and take? Is it more for ego and image? Is it more authentic and loving and warm, or isn't it? And so then it can make those people wonder, should I move forward with the people I am? Should I move forward with the people I'm not? And if some of you could have other people approaching you and you have to go through that debate question within yourself. And I think high vibe people don't want to take action more out of pride or ego because they've probably learned it's going to blow up in their face sooner or later. If we take action out of stubbornness or pride or ego or trying to prove a point, what goes around comes around. And so it's really trying to have people gotten out of their more worldly nature? Have they worked through some of their regrets in the past? Have they been enlightened to the truth? And I think high vibe people listen to their intuition, standing up for themselves, having good boundaries, trying to look at life from other people's perspectives. Do I want to move away from certain people in my life, or do I want them to move forward with me? The people in my life, am I willing to let some of those people go because we're really kind of not on the same page? And is there people that could be in my life or that maybe are more on the same page as me? So who are the people who are communicating with you, defending you, tempering their ego nature, and working together with you, and who are the people who are not? And we can only have our dreams come into reality with people who are willing to do that. So, there just comes a point in time that there can be people we'd like to have move forward with us, but we have to let everybody live their own life, whether that's you're an adult child, a sibling, a parent, a friend. Everybody's at where they're at. And though we would maybe like to hang out with them, maybe we feel like if we were to keep staying in a relationship with them, that maybe they do try to control us, or they do like the scales kind of tipped in their favor. We could have put a lot of work and effort to try to move a relationship forward, and the other person was kind of defensive to being more just and fair in the relationship. And that's kind of over time, we kind of start to feel stuck and we kind of start to feel manipulated. And that's not very loving, right? And so then, even though we could be kind of defensive to detaching from some of those people, I don't want to be in relationships with people who are like that. And do I love and believe in myself that instead of investing my time, energy, and effort into people who I think maybe use their emotions manipulatively, are kind of stubborn or prideful or manipulative, maybe I'll just let you live your life and I'm going to move on. So I think everybody's going to move on based on what they think is just and fair and what they think is victorious and successful. Some people, I want a balance between having, some stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. But in my high vibe Libra energy, I'm also this creative, inspired, emotional human being who wants to be an authentic, loving, mature, balanced relationship. So if I don't feel like I have that in some of the relationships I'm in, I am willing to wish them peace, and I'm going to go find the people and move forward with the people in my life who do interact with me in that way. And the people that are defensive to that, I wish them peace, and I'm going to keep moving on. And the people that are, there's some people in the world, if you don't want to be truthful and honest and just and fair and treat people the way you treat people and be more authentic in a relationship, well, then you're kind of using your emotions and your sexuality and your intuition and all these things to try to manipulate people to get them to stay in a relationship with you for whatever, either because that's how you like to operate in a relationship and you don't want to be more authentic and let your more authentic, vulnerable, loving nature out in the world to play. And they're probably going to move forward with people who are willing to enable them to be in that kind of energy for whatever reason they have. And it could just be because the other people really haven't seen the truth of who they are yet, and when they see the truth of who they are, those people might move on too, or they might get in a relationship with someone who does view life the same way they do, is motivated and inspired by the same things they are, and that would be a just and fair relationship. But to try to get someone who has more hope and faith and like love and justice and fairness and maturity or something, to try to get someone like that to stay in a relationship with them when that's not their truth, that's an injustice. And that's why the high vibe people decide, I'm not going to keep investing in a relationship with someone who I don't think works together with me cooperatively from love. And I feel like I'm missing an opportunity in love. And I had a dream of love, because Pisces energy is about our dreams and our emotions and love. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And, I'm going to go take action in the world to move forward with the people in my life who are like that, find the people in the world who are like that, and they can live their life however they want to live it. And they probably will keep living it that way. So what's coming up for some people who harness a more worldly, shadowy, people who harness a more high vibe Libra energy, inspired by a higher truth and justice than just thinking it's just and fair to be about them or make their life about indulgence or ego and image and money and materialism as the main priority. The High Priestess, because of the Chariot, You know, we have a lot of fire energy here, and the opposite sign of Libra is Aries. And in our Aries fiery energy, which is definitely depicted by the Four Wands, we have all these things of the world that we want to have, and we want to be in a relationship. We want to be move forward in life, indulging kind of in these things of the world that we want. But high vibe people are tempering their more egoic nature, and they're listening to their intuition, which is Cancer and Pisces energy, which both emotional water signs energies about love and home and family and your dreams. And they're listening to their intuition. Why? Because of the Chariot. They want to move forward in more emotionally balanced relationships, operating from a foundation in Cancer energy from love. But they know and are intuitive that some people harness their Cancer energy, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are. We all tap into all the zodiac sign traits and characteristics in a more high vibe, worldly, or shadowy way of being. And they know that some people use their emotions manipulatively to get in relationships to look victorious and successful, and like they've moved on, but it's not really love that drives them, motivates them. It could be more ego based. And so they're listening to their intuition about the different people in their life because they want to work together with people who are emotionally balanced and authentic and warm and loving and enlightened to the truth, not people who want to be in a relationship with them and just kind of be the next person to indulge in a relationship with them, and they want to operate from ego. And as some high vibe people are moving forward in their life, some of these shadowy people could be watching you move forward, and they could feel kind of defensive and feel kind of stuck in how they're living their life, but they weren't willing to get in the driver's seat of their life from love to offset their more egoic, fearful, defensive, self-centered, more about themselves, more about ego and image, to get more balance within themselves. They're tipped out of balance and either make themselves or these things of the world that they make so important in their life more important than an emotionally balanced, loving relationship. And so they could kind of be in their ego, that they end up feeling kind of maybe stuck, because I think that's what eventually they'll learn. You can have all these things of the world. You could have someone indulging in your ego every day, licking your shoes, kissing your butt. But you don't have creative, inspired, authentic, loving people in your life, or they probably wouldn't keep putting up with your ass. So they might have someone in their life who's willing to defend them and stay in a relationship with them. But why? Is it because they just don't love and believe in themselves? Because they're in their ego, they're in their fear, they're in their insecurity, they're in their codependent energy because of the ego or the image or the money? Well, that's different than having someone in your life who is loving and authentic and inspiring you to heal and free yourself from things that manipulate you. They might end up in a relationship with someone who is defensive to them loving and believing in themselves. You're not going anywhere. This relationship works for me. This looks good. We should stay in it. And then they can end up getting in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. And some of those people could have kind of been like that. Well, how do they like themselves now that they're in a relationship maybe with someone who's like themselves? What's coming up for people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Libra energy that they might not see coming? The Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands, because of the Judgment card. When people act in these kind of shadowy kind of ways, or more worldly focused ways that I've talked about, there is going to be people who are willing to move forward with them in a relationship, because that could be their truth also. But there's going to be other people in their life that are going to move away from them. because they don't want to keep moving forward with someone who's living more from their mind and their ego or their defensive nature or their self-centered nature or their immature nature, or making these things of the world so important in their life. And some of those people are going to call judgment on them. And for some of these people, when people aren't willing just to indulge these people or stay in the relationship because of these things of the world, they can always be surprised when that happens. Some of these people are kind of full of themselves. Well, I look like a victorious, successful person. I'm good looking. I have social clout. I have money. I have status. I have these things. You should want these things. I would stay in relationships with people for these things. And I have these things. And some people are like, I don't care how much you got of whatever you got. It's not enough to stay in the relationship with you if I constantly feel like I'm the one maybe putting in all this work and effort to try to maintain balance in this relationship, and I'm the one who's always kind of the one more tempering my ego and my more immature and impulsive and bossy controlling nature, but you never temper yours. And I'm the one who's trying to move it forward and trying to help everybody love and believe in themselves and believe in their dreams. But are you encouraging me to be all I can be, to believe in myself, believe in my dreams? Or is my life supposed to be all about you because you're the most important person in this relationship and that's how you view relationships? It's not just and fair. We're all unique individuals with our own unique talent, skills, and interests. We all have our own dreams, but that isn't how some people view relationships. They do think it's more all about them, and you should make your life all about them. Or indulge them in their ego or their immature ways or their bossy ways or their prideful ways or their defensive ways. And eventually it's like, I wish you peace, I'm moving on. And I'm going to go find the people who harness some high vibe Leo energy, who have tempered their ego, are more just and fair, and have learned some of the lessons I've learned in life. Because apparently you have some lessons to learn about how to play nicely with others in a relationship, and you haven't learned some of those lessons. And apparently you don't want to. So I wish you peace. You live life the way you want. I'm going to move on. And yeah, they're probably going to also have other people who are willing to be in a relationship with them also, but it might be more because of the ego or the image or the status, or just because they feel stuck and they're defensive too. It's like, perfect. Maybe if they're more on the same page as each other, maybe they can help each other move forward in life, which is what we should want for everybody, to get out of their more defensive, egoic nature. But the Judgment card also talks about there will be consequences and there will be judgment. Again, some people try to present themselves as these, like they harness this high vibe Libra energy. I'm this just and fair and stable and grounded, loving person who looks at life from a higher perspective. I'm not selfish. I'm not greedy. I'm not manipulative or bossy or controlling or all about myself, but they are. Well, when they're not getting out of their ego and trying, to prove a point, being stubborn, and maybe getting in relationships more out of ego and image, eventually other people start to listen to their intuition, and other people start to see that maybe some of these people who at one time they did view as more someone inspired by love and being a good leader in the world, harnessing high vibe Aries energy, making decisions that are best for everyone instead of just wanting to make decisions that are best for them. And as time goes by, people kind of see that you're not who you present yourself to be. You don't seem to make decisions that are best for everyone. You do seem to be more about you. And then other people might decide they don't want to move forward with them or kind of be in friendships or relationships with them anymore either, because it's kind of like feeling someone lied to you. They present themselves as being this certain type of person, and then you realize that's not the truth of who they are at all, and people feel manipulated. And people become defensive to people. I've been enlightened to the truth of who you are. Don't try to Shadowy energy is trying to confuse people about the truth. Shadowy Pisces energy that they can harness. I'm defensive to people being illuminated to the truth, that I'm more prideful, egotistical, defensive, more about myself. But you can't, other people listen to their intuition. And eventually people don't want to keep investing in them because they realize they think it's just and fair to be just more about themselves. And then other people move away from them. And some of those people will be shocked because they try to present this image that I'm this victorious, successful, blah, blah, blah person. And people are like, no, you're kind of immature and stubborn and egotistical and all about yourself. And we're not interested in investing in you either. So, and they could be shocked by that. So there you go, Libra energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.